guys, I hope you're well. So today I am really excited because it is finally time for me to film my 14 best beauty discoveries of 2014 video. So I basically just had a good look through my collection and picked out 14 of the things that I found and I've really enjoyed using this year. So there's a good mixture of makeup and body and skincare and hair care, mainly makeup I have to say, but I'm just going to kind of crack on because I know that there's going to be tons and tons of this kind of video out there at the moment, so I want to kind of make mine as speedy as possible. So I'm just going to pick products at complete random, and the first one that I've picked up is this, and it is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is in the shade Diffused Light. They obviously have quite a few shades. This is a kind of yellowish undertone, which works to reduce redness in the skin, which I suffer with quite a lot. I would say that this has completely changed my opinion on powders. Before I used this, I thought that powders were always quite cakey. I thought that they didn't work for my dry skin at all, but this is really lovely. It has a nice kind of subtle luminosity to it without any visible shimmer or any glitter in it at all. It really does soften the skin, soften the redness, and just give a really nice kind of blurred out, photoshopped, soft focus finish to the skin, which is something that I never imagined a powder could actually do. They are darn pricey. I was lucky enough to get this as a birthday present from my boyfriend this year, so I didn't actually have to part with the money myself, and they are very expensive, but for me, I've used this every single day for 3 or 4 months now, and I've barely even kind of made a dent in it. I absolutely love it, and I can tell that it's going to last me a really long time. I then have 2 products from Bobbi Brown, and the first one is this, and it is their Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks in the shade Powder Pink. I absolutely have fallen in love with this. It reminds me a lot of the Estelle convertible colours. It's one of those kind of multitasking products that can be used on the cheeks and the lips, and it's just such a pretty colour. If you do have fair skin, as I do, then this is super flattering for it. It's a nice kind of mid-toned pink that just works all year round. For me, it's quite difficult to find products like this that sit as nicely on the lips as they do on the cheeks, and I find that this one does. A lot of them, like the Estelle ones, do tend to dry out my lips a little bit. I really need to pack on the lip balm before and after I apply the colour if I want to wear it all day, but this is super long lasting on the lips and it actually feels incredibly comfortable, which is a first for me, and like I say, the colour is just stunning. Then from Bobbi Brown I have a lip product, and this one probably won't come as any surprise to you if you have watched any of my videos before. It is the sheer lip colour in the shade Pink Rose, and when I first bought this I was kind of a little bit sceptical because I thought that it might look a little bit too mature for me. It's obviously quite a dark kind of purpley mauvey pink, but on the lips I just find that it's super flattering. The formula of these for me is absolutely amazing. You get the benefits of a kind of really sheer tinted lip balm almost. It's very hydrating on the lips, it feels very comfortable and very soothing, and you also get the benefits of kind of your more classic lipstick. The colour is very long lasting and you do get quite a lot of colour payoff as well. As you can see, it's not exactly sheer on the lips, but it feels so comfortable to wear, and this has just been an absolute must-have in my makeup collection over the past few months. Sticking with the lip theme, and I then have a high street lipstick which has become my absolute go-to. I've fallen in love with this, and it is the Soap and Glory Supernude lipstick. It is a matte finish and it's just the perfect nude. Matte lipsticks can be a little bit hit and miss for me because I do have quite dry lips and they tend to get very chapped, especially at this time of year, but this lipstick I have to say I have worn kind of all the way through autumn, all the way through winter, and it just feels so nice on the lips. It feels very comfortable, even though it does have like a true matte finish. Nude lips are obviously very me, as are matte lips, and this is just a perfect combination of them both. I go and pick this up all the time over kind of high-end lipsticks. I just find the formula is lovely, really long lasting and really comfortable on the lips as well, and yeah, I can't say anything bad about this one. Moving on to eyes, and I've actually just realised that I've got 5 products that probably fit into the eyes category, but hear me out on this one because they are all brilliant. And I'm going to start with MAC's Groundwork Paint Pot. This has been mentioned on my YouTube channel and on my blog a lot this year. It's just the perfect kind of one sweep wonder. If you have fair skin, again, so many of my things that I seem to be picking up at the moment, I'm saying if you have fair skin this will look really nice on you, but it really does. It's incredibly flattering. It just adds that kind of subtle definition if you don't want to go all out with a completely kind of heavy smoky eye look or whatever, and you just want something that's just going to add a little bit of colour and a little bit of definition to the eyes, then this is what I pick up every single time. I have quite a few of these paint pots now, and I have to say that the formula for me is second to none. They're really, really easy to blend just with a fluffy brush. You can pack on kind of as much colour as you want as well. You can make it a little bit more intense if you want to, or really just kind of soften them down to look really natural. They're also incredibly long lasting as well. Once it's dry, it is not budging all day, and that is a must for me when it comes to eye products, so this gets a massive thumbs up. I then have another product from MAC, which is actually quite a surprise because I wouldn't say that MAC are one of my favourite makeup brands at all, but for eyes they have really been bringing it this year, and I picked up the MAC Coffee Eye Pencil quite a few months ago now, and I've probably used it most days since then, just smudged along the upper lash line and even into the lower lash line as well. It looks a lot more kind of subtle and a lot more natural and less intense than just like a jet black kohl liner, and I just find the formula again is really, really long lasting, incredibly easy to blend, and if you do sharpen it to quite a kind of fine point, you can get quite a neat tight line as well if you want to. Next up I have a tool, and this is something that if you'd have asked me last year I would have said that I definitely wanted, but I would never ever part with that much cash for it, and it's the Uemura eyelash curlers. I did eventually cave in and go and buy them probably a few months ago now, and I've used them every single day since. I'm still on the first little rubber pad that came with them, mainly because I've lost the extra one, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. But I absolutely adore them. I never thought that this kind of tool would make that much of a difference. I kind of thought, well, how different can the kind of expensive higher end ones actually be to the ones that you can pick up in Boots and Superdrug for kind of £3 or £4, and I have to say, it's a lot of difference. I am definitely a convert to these eyelash curlers, and if you've been putting off parting with your money as I had for so long, then maybe in the new year think about giving yourself a little bit of a treat. Following on from that, I have my favourite mascara of the year hands down, and it is the Max Factor Full Slash Effect Mascara. All the writing has rubbed off this by now, so I can't really show you in that much detail, but it is a fantastic mascara. I have quite fair lashes. They're very, very blonde at the tips, and they tend to be quite straight as well. I don't really need that much length, but in terms of volume and definition to the lashes, nothing comes close. I find that just one coat of this is all I need to give my lashes that real oomph and that real wow factor. I do find that if I curl it with the Uemura eyelash curlers before I pop this on as well, that curl will really, really last all day, and my lashes look exactly the same, if not a tad better, when I come home in the evening than it did when I left that morning, and that is really saying something. Another product that probably won't come as any surprise is the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade. I have used this religiously over the past year, and my eyebrows have told a sorry tale this past year, I must admit. I've had a few mishaps with tweezers. I've also had a mishap with scissors. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can read into that what you will. But yeah, I've had a couple of failures with them, and this has absolutely saved my bacon every single time. My eyebrows just never seem to want to play ball with one another, even if I've shaped them to the best of my ability. One of them is still a lot kind of softer and more curved, and the other one, the arch is really quite kind of angular, and this is the only product that I found that I can kind of correct that with. It's so easy to apply. I use it with a Eco Tools little angled brush. I will put the link to that down below because that was really, really cheap, and it's such a thin angled brush that I find when I use this I can really get those little kind of fine hair strokes with it. I did initially pick up the shade Dark Brown, which admittedly was probably just a little bit too dark for me. Since they brought out the new shades, I've now got medium brown, and I find that this is just the perfect shade. Even though I have blonde hair, my eyebrows, as you could probably see, are kind of naturally a little bit darker than that, so this is a great match and definitely one of my holy grail products. I then have a true multitasker product, and 2014 was the year that I started using coconut oil in my routine religiously. In every single aspect of it, I use it on my hair, I use it to take my makeup off primarily, I use it as like a 10-minute sort of skin mask, I use it on my skin, on my body, on my feet, I use it absolutely everywhere. Since I've been using coconut oil to remove my makeup as that kind of initial first step in my evening routine, my skin has never looked better. It really does kind of make it just feel squeaky clean. It absolutely dissolves everything, even if I'm using something like the Benefit Their Real mascara, which is obviously quite kind of renowned for being very, very hard to get off, and the eyeliner as well I find gets off really, really easy with coconut oil. Moving on to nails, and my favourite nail polish formula by far this year has got to be the Rimmel Salon Pro nail polishes. I have here the shade Hip Hop and also the shade Oh Mr. Darcy, which are probably two of my favourite shades. One thing that I will say is that not all of the shades appeal to me, but there is quite a vast array of them, so that doesn't really matter too much. In terms of being long lasting, in terms of leaving kind of a really glossy, smooth finish to the nails, nothing for me works as well as these do. High end, low end, it doesn't matter. These have just blown everything else in my collection out of the water, and they are definitely one to go and check out in 2015 if you haven't already. So I really have stripped my skincare routine back a lot this year, especially in the past kind of 6 months or so. I've taken a lot of steps to just get it really back to basics and use only kind of really simple natural ingredients in my skincare routine. And one of the products that I love is the Estelle and Thild Night Cream. This is the sensitive fragrance-free option. Most of the skincare products that I'm using at the moment are fragrance-free, whether they have kind of natural ingredients in them or not. I just find that kind of anything that has a lot of oils, especially essential oils, and it tends to really aggravate my skin, so I'm steering clear of those at the moment, and this just ticks all the boxes for me. It's incredibly soothing, incredibly gentle on the skin. There's nothing in it that doesn't need to be in it, but it still does a really, really good job of keeping my dry skin hydrated and looking kind of glowy and nice and fresh. This next product I have cheated with slightly because I didn't realise that on my kind of 2013 favourites I actually included this. So I've obviously been using it for more than a year, but it is without doubt one of those products that I just couldn't be without, and it is the Bumble BB Texture Hair Undressing Cream. As you can probably tell, I am a big fan of big hair, of messy hair, of just rolled out of bed, can't be asked to do anything with it hair, no matter how long it takes me to get that look, believe me. And this is just one of those products that I find gets that look so well. I just use a tiny amount after every time I wash my hair, just kind of rub it between my palms and really rough it up. I also use it a lot in my fringe as well, because I do wash my fringe separately to the rest of my hair quite often, because I don't like to wash my hair every day, but my fringe needs a wash every day. Very confusing, but this is just the product that I use every single time that I wash it, and it just kind of gives it that grit, that texture and that manageability that my hair naturally doesn't have. Last but definitely not least is a base product, and it is the Dr. Jart Water-Fused BB Cream. If you'd have told me at the end of 2013 that I would be including a BB cream in my kind of yearly roundup favourites, or even in the monthly favourites, I would not have believed you, because at the start of this year I was all about full-on heavy coverage. If you suffer with skin like I do that's kind of very prone to spots and blemishes and just misbehaves all the bloody time, then I do find that it's very difficult to kind of make that break from using kind of heavy coverage foundations and things to start using something lighter, but I do have to say that it has made all the difference to my skin. This was actually all I took with me when I went away for 3 weeks, a couple of weeks back now, and it was the only thing that I needed, the only thing that I wanted to use. It does still offer quite a good coverage considering it is a BB cream. It's kind of diminishes any redness in the skin, and it does go over spots and pimples and things quite nicely. I do find that I need to put on a little bit of extra concealer if I do have any kind of really red areas, especially around my nose. I just conceal a little bit more. I really can't sing the praises of this enough, and if you haven't tried it already, I would definitely recommend going and giving it a go. So that's it for my 14 favourite beauty products of 2014. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, that you've got some inspiration of things that you might want to go out and try, or that I mentioned some of your favourites as well, and I would love to hear what some of your favourites are. Just drop me a comment in the comment box. You know what I'm trying to say. I would just absolutely love to know what you guys have been liking this year, and if there's anything that I need to go and try in 2015. I am always open to suggestions, as I'm sure you can imagine by now. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon.